Hello, so this video is made to address some of the commonly asked questions from general managers. The first thing I often hear is, aren't my competitors going to find out what I'm selling for? And my response to that is, they probably already know. As a comfort consultant, I was sometimes faced with a situation where a customer implied that my pricing was way off, and I would respond along the lines of, hey, we'd like to stay relevant. Would you mind sharing what you got? And people were willing to do that because they wanted to know, is there something really missing from the other price? Why doesn't this compute? So the fact is that if you really put attention on finding out what others' prices are, you're going to be able to find them. Now with online pricing, it will be a little faster, but it doesn't mean that we're not currently able to find out what our competitors are selling for. So another key thing to understand about what I do is it's not just about providing a price online, it's about providing an online value proposition. That's the reason we've always insisted on sending a comfort consultant, because we know it's not just about price. We want that opportunity to explain to the customer what it is that we do as a company and why they should choose us. Well, that hasn't changed. I've just taken it online. There's some more videos on this page where you can see a demo of what I do, and it includes online videos where I educate customers so they know the difference between single stage and variable speed technology. In fact, this may help your average ticket to go up because a lot of comfort consultants kind of walk in with the idea that maybe this customer is price sensitive and they wouldn't want to hear about variable speed technology. So here you have a consistent delivery. It also includes a video about what does a high quality installation look like. This is a fantastic follow-up tool because customers look at that and I understand that if I don't deal with a company that's got their act together, there are some shortcuts likely to occur. And that video is delivered from the viewpoint of a salesperson explaining why is it that you should deal with a solid company and how does a solid company translate into getting a really high quality installation. So that's the first thing to understand, that this is not just about pricing. We start with pricing because that's the question most people have. How much is it to replace a 2-3 ton system? But we follow right in there with the value proposition. If we ran ads saying, hey, would you like to know everything about buying an air conditioning system? People are not as likely to respond. So we'd rather say, find out what it costs to replace a system online. And then we very cleverly go in and provide that value proposition. And that's what my system does. So the other commonly asked question is, how do I structure my pricing? If you're in a habit of starting a little high so you have some wiggle room at the kitchen table, my advice is take a look at your last 50 deals or so for each size and use the average price, the price that you know you're making a good margin on. Even if you're a little higher than your competition, it's okay. I'm going to help you provide a really good value proposition online. The idea is that by the time your comfort consultant walks in, the customer already has a price and has been given a value proposition. So if a comfort consultant is typically at a 30% closing rate and it goes up to 60, even if their commission structure is a little lower on these deals, I would take the 60% closing rate all day long. So problem solved. Once you get your pricing figured out, you'll have a link to a spreadsheet where you can enter those prices. There's another video below here that shows you exactly how the onboarding works, and we will work with you through that process to get you onboarded. It's a pretty easy process. So there are several ways the customer journey can start. It could be that we run Facebook ads clearly promoting that customers could get an online price. We'll discuss during onboarding if that's something we can help you with. When you get phone calls in from customers asking for a price, your CSRs are going to direct them to your website, and I'll have a separate video for your CSR specifically talking about this. Please take a look at that one. The fact is that we're not going to give a price on the phone because that means we're closing the door on being able to deliver a value proposition. But we are going to direct people to the website where they can click, fill in the form, and then we can start the whole process of maintaining that relationship and providing that value proposition. The other thing that's worked very successfully that I've seen at a smaller company where I implemented this is your technicians handing a card to a customer where they write down, this is the size of your unit and this is the age a few minutes after they arrive at their house. and gives the customer a link to go get a price while the technician does his work. I've had situations where the customer knew that their system was about to fail and simply looked at that and said, fine, I'll go ahead and replace it. So this is an incredible tool, because if you have 5 comfort consultants and 20 technicians, you can now have an army of salespeople that can help with replacement sales this way. So I'll have another video for technicians where I talk about the use of this. And then finally, if you have a texting system, email communication system, of course you can use that also to promote the fact that you provide online prices. So that's basically how the various ways the journey starts. All right, I hope this helps to explain a little more about what we do. It's not just about giving the price, it's about providing the value proposition. I've got really good material to help provide this. In the future, we may go a step further and do more videos at your location so people can experience that communication from you directly. But in the meantime, I have some really good material that's going to get you going on this journey, and we look forward to working with you on this.